Coming this Friday, December 9th, 2022, is Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. It's coming to select theaters as well as Netflix streaming. So if you've seen a version of Pinocchio, and there's a lot of them, there have been 5 since 2002, you've probably seen most of what this has to offer. However, I would argue that this movie isn't necessarily about the story so much. I mean, it is. It's a darker take on a classic story. But, you know, as Celine Dion said, it's a tale as old as time. And the animation in this was next level. I was genuinely blown away watching this. I watched it on my 4K TV. While I don't know if it was 4K, the stream had a little bit of an issue with the bitrate, but I think that was on my end, not Netflix. So yeah, like the stop motion animation, it has come so far, so very far from the early days of stop motion. Now, I mean, it's not, you're never going to mistake it for live action. It's clearly its own unique art style. And honestly, at this point, I have to give it more credit than most traditional CGI animation. And don't come at me. I get CGI animation is animation. It is its own art, its own craft. It takes a long time to make. But there's something about it that misses the heart. It's getting better. Like Turning Red was fantastic. And I mean, it's clearly CGI animation. But it still has room to grow. Like this, you could see Del Toro's fingerprints all over this. Even though it's not live action per se. I mean, it's more live action than traditional animation, but you could see his fingerprints all over. His directorial style was clear as day. Like, when you're watching a film by him, you know it's a film by him. There's no mistaking, no middle ground. But the unique style, like, there was no point when I was watching it that I was like, oh, that's not Geppetto, or that's not Pinocchio. Now, the fairy was a little different. Jiminy Cricket, or, oh no, what's his name? It's not Jiminy Cricket in this. The talking cricket. Yeah, it's not the talking cricket either. I mean, it is a cricket that talks. I don't know. I don't remember. Sebastian, I want to say. I'm blanking. So, anyways, I guess it ultimately doesn't matter. But he was definitely a different style, different personality. Geppetto was a very different personality. Like I said, it was a much darker film. It's not something that you're used to seeing in terms of Pinocchio, although I guess last year's Pinocchio was pretty dark as well. But I mean, to be fair, most fairy tales honestly are dark. Most of what we get with the Disney-fied adaptations are not as dark as they traditionally are. So yeah, I mean, but overall, I wouldn't say that it's like a children's cartoon. Like, probably you're looking at 7, 8 plus. I don't think most young children would probably connect with this. It's a darker tone. It's during Mussolini's reign. There's Nazis, there's the whole shebang. So, I mean, it's definitely not something that is going to appeal to a young audience, like super young audience. But, you know, if you have younger preteens, I think that overall they'd probably be fine with it. So that's just my opinion. You guys judge for yourself, obviously. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and share my thoughts.